30-year-old pregnant mother, just weeks away from meeting her second child, was brutally stabbed 70 times inside her own home. The reason she was killed? A dispute over a used truck sold on Facebook Marketplace. How could a simple online deal explode into a crime so vicious it claimed 2 lives? This is the story of Alyssa Morales and the horrifying reality of a transaction that ended in unimaginable violence. Alyssa was a 30-year-old woman from Downers Grove, Illinois, who was, by all accounts, building a beautiful life. She worked in the payroll department at Lurie Children's Hospital and was married to her high school sweetheart, Gabrielle. They had a 2-year-old daughter and were excitedly expecting their second child, another girl. At 5 months pregnant, Alyssa was lovingly preparing for the new addition to their family. Her relatives describe her as a sweetheart, a kind and generous person who was devoted to her family. But on January 26th of 2026, that happy life was stolen in a shocking and senseless attack. It all started with something many of us do without a second thought: selling an item online. Just 2 days earlier, on Saturday, January 24th, Alyssa's husband, Gabriel, sold their 1994 Ford Ranger pickup truck using Facebook Marketplace. The buyer was a 19-year-old from the nearby town of Westmont named Nedius Revucus. The sale itself seemed to go off without a hitch. In a small oversight, however, the couple forgot to take their license plate off the truck. They arranged for Revucus to swing by their apartment on Monday to return the plates, what should have been a simple final step to an ordinary online sale. On the evening of Monday, January 26, Revucus arrived at the apartment building around 5:30 p.m. Surveillance video showed Alyssa meeting him in the vestibule, according to prosecutors. Revucus wasn't just there to drop off the plates. He was angry about the truck's condition and later told police he wanted to yell at someone. The footage shows Alyssa handing Revucus a screwdriver before he enters the apartment building. The argument quickly turned to a brutal physical attack. In a desperate plea, Alyssa told him she was pregnant, but the horrific assault didn't stop. An autopsy would later confirm she had been stabbed around 70 times, mostly to her head and neck. In his rage, Revucus also stabbed the family's elderly pit bull mix, Zula, between the eyes before he fled. He attacked items on the kitchen stove, poured chemical accelerants on them, and set the apartment on fire, trying to destroy all evidence of the crime. Firefighters were dispatched to the scene after a 5-alarm went off at 6:09 p.m. and discovered the horrific scene inside. They found Alyssa's body near the door of her burning apartment. Paramedics initially treated her for injuries they thought were from the fire, but they soon realized she had been stabbed multiple times, and the case became a homicide investigation. Police didn't take long to identify Nedius Revucus as their main suspect, thanks to the Facebook Marketplace messages. They found the Ford Ranger parked at his girlfriend's home with what looked like blood on the steering wheel and driver's side door. When police brought him into custody, Revucus reportedly cried as he confessed to the murder. He told detectives that he blacked out during the attack, taking out his frustration about the truck on Alyssa. He then led them to a dumpster where he had thrown away his bloody clothes and some of Alyssa's personal belongings, including her work ID. Nedius Revucus was hit with a squall of felony charges: 3 counts of first-degree murder, intentional homicide of an unborn child, armed robbery, aggravated arson, and aggravated cruelty to animals. During this court hearing on January 29th, the judge denied him pre-trial release, calling him a real threat. DuPage County State Attorney Robert Berlin called the murder a horrific act of violence and stated his intention to seek a life sentence. Just hours after that hearing, Revucus was rushed to the hospital in critical condition with what appeared to be a self-inflicted injuries he sustained in his jail cell. The family of Alyssa Morales is now left to face a future they never imagined. Her husband Gabriel said, "I'm going to spend the rest of my life missing her." A cousin promised that the family would raise Alyssa's surviving 2-year-old daughter the way she was. A GoFundMe has been organized to help support them through this tragedy. The brutal murder of Alyssa Morales and her unborn baby is a gut-wrenching reminder of the real-world danger you can hide behind the convenience of a screen. It's a story that shows how a seemingly normal online interaction can spiral into a deadly violence in just a matter of moments. For Alyssa's family and community, it's a tragic lesson about a wave of senseless anger that stole a mother, a wife, and a daughter from the world far too soon. If you have any thoughts on this case, please share them with respect in the comments below. For more true crime stories that matter, please subscribe to the channel. And thank you all for watching.